Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to the show. As always, I got my homie with me, Tyler. I'm Trey, and we're coming your way with the 111th edition of the Don't Kill the Messengers podcast. For this episode, we're going to pretty much strictly stick to basketball, the NBA. So we're just about to get right into these free agency and just some of the moves that these NBA teams have been making so far. It's been a crazy summer so far for the NBA, man, with the new moves that we got for players going to these teams. Just to start it off with free agency, man, with some of these decisions, man, do you think some of these athletes were kind of quick to make their decision on what team they were playing for? Because, like, we had LeBron, for instance, he just, like, soon as the first got here, he just decided that he was going to pack up his bags to go to L.A., which is no problem with that, but, man, there was still just a lot of time left to, discuss it with the wife and kids and whatnot for a lot of these athletes. You think it was kind of too quick to make those decisions, or what? How do you feel about that?
No, I mean, if you kind of look at, some of the big headline named players either moving or staying put, think about it. Boogie Cousins has had since his injury to think about what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing anymore, and to be quite honest, I don't think he really cared what happened with the Pelicans at that point.
Yeah.
And I think anybody with a brain knows LeBron's been thinking about this for, 2 years?
Yeah.
So to me, it's not so much that they're making a quick decision. I think they know what they want to do, so they're just doing it.
Yeah. I feel the exact same way about that. I think just with them making it early, man, I just think that they pretty much had that decision locked down a while ago on what they were doing. So I agree with that completely. Before these to start off with these moves, man, let's get right into it, man. Because we got to talk about King James with LeBron going to the LA Lakers, man. Happy for that one, but just thoughts on that one.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't matter where LeBron goes; he's a fit, and I don't think anybody's super surprised that he went. I figured he might stay in Cleveland and just kind of play that out, but I'm not shocked at all that he's going to the Lakers.
Yeah. What was the key thing that kind of made you think he was going to stay in Cleveland?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Part of me just kind of thought that, being LeBron James, you can get whoever you want to play with you. It's not like you have to fight for some of these guys.
Yeah.
Granted, you're not going to be breaking up Houston, and you're not going to be breaking up Golden State, but just about anybody else, if you say, hey, come play with me, I don't know anybody that's saying no.
Yeah.
I thought he would stay. The hometown. I don't know if it was just me, and I guess I'll ask your opinion too. Like, did you kind of feel like LeBron's always another player away?
Yeah.
Like if they could have landed a Kawhi, or if they could have, maybe got Boogie to come to Cleveland, it always just felt like LeBron was a player away.
Yeah.
And, granted they got swept this year, but, look at LeBron's team. He had nobody.
Yeah.
So, for me, I always felt like it's not the fact that LeBron needs to be out to win the championship. I think, I think he's realizing that, the front office just isn't doing enough to help it.
Yeah, I can agree with that, man. With a guy like LeBron, an unselfish basketball player that he can always elevate the players around him, it would always seem like, he was just one player away from getting the job done. And especially, just having a disappointing season like that in Cleveland, the whole J.R. Smith situation and whatnot. I think that kind of continued to play a role with his decision as well. So it's, like I said, I'm happy he's going to LA, man. It's my favorite team. Going to be excited to see what he can bring to the table and how he can develop that young core around him to rise up and just get better. So I'm really excited for that. So just waiting to see what the possibilities would be for him in LA. with the addition of LeBron alone, man, what do you see LA doing? You think going to the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they're easily in the playoffs. Don't think they'll be a 1 seed. I don't even think they'll be a 2 seed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I could see them in that 3 to 5 range, which I think is very still respectable in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
I think where we're going to see the most intrigue with LA, at least in my opinion, is not what's happening with LeBron, but more, what's Brandon Ingram going to do? Who's going to start at point guard?
Yeah.
Just some of these other players, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the team kind of revolves around LeBron.
Yeah.
How is Luke Walton going to coach?
Yeah.
Granted, I think what Luke Walton has going for him at this point is he's coached Golden State, so he knows what it's like to have 5 guys on the floor that can literally all play.
Yeah.
But I think what we can expect is we can definitely expect playoffs. I also think we'll expect, or at least I'm expecting it, late next season. I think toward the deadline we're going to see the Lakers make a move or two. I still think that team's going to need a little bit of help.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I still think they need I don't think they have a really good shooter unless the kid out of Kansas, if they bring him up, but I don't know if they want to, throw him in there or if they want to sign, a veteran who's just a pure shooter. But
yeah,
I still think the Lakers need a couple pieces.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Up next, we'll still stick to LA. My man Rajon Rondo, I'm a huge fan of him. He's gone to LA to sign with them for a year. Really going to be just interesting to me, man, to see how you said before, who's going to start at point guard. If you have Ball, he's a great playmaker. Had an assist last year. He can get some boards too. Needs to work on his shooting, obviously, but he's a great player. Then you have Rondo. Just an awesome playmaker, knows how to get those assists up. Pretty good defender, and just was absolutely amazing last year in the playoffs for the Pelicans. So he really stepped his game up. So it's going to be kind of intriguing to see how the Lakers offense will kind of manage with those two. Because I just like with Rondo too. You have LeBron; he's a playmaker, but Rondo's a playmaker as well. He can kind of let LeBron play off the ball and whatnot. He doesn't need to have the ball in his hands all the time on the court. We got to play like a maker like Rajon Rondo. But yeah, just thoughts of that, man. If you could break that down some more, just with that, who do you think would end up getting the starting position, in your opinion, or how do you think the Lakers could handle that situation with Rondo on the team?
Yeah, personally, I don't know what's going to happen. I think we're looking at. I think obviously Rondo's proven. He does have some flags that could hinder the Lakers. I think we all know he has some personality issues, some chemistry issues with almost every team he's been on before.
Yeah.
But I also look at it and say, the Lakers aren't going to bring him in if they don't think he's going to contribute.
Yeah.
I also think bringing in a point guard shows that they're not, I think they're sold
also,
on.
With that whole situation, there was rumors going around too of them possibly trading Lonzo Ball too. So
yeah, I don't think
possibly happen down the future.
No.
Talking about the deadline, or you think they're going to?
No, I think they're going to still keep Lonzo. You got him on that rookie contract.
Yeah.
So you're paying him next to nothing, and in reality, he could be a poor man's Rondo.
Yeah.
At this point.
I like it too, man. You just brought that up, but Rondo, he's a veteran in the league. Him and LeBron are veterans. Both got championship experience just with this young core, with their ability to just teach these guys and make them learn. I think Lonzo Ball, particularly him being a point guard, this is a great opportunity for him to learn from a guy like Rondo. That'll be huge for him. So whether he starts or back up or what, for him to have a guy like Rondo that could be in his ear and, explain to him the game and let him be open out for, other point guards out there that he's played against and stuff. That's going to be a huge help, too. So just that alone is all going to be awesome for him.
End of the day, I think Lonzo is the game one starting point.
Okay. Either way, man, I'm just happy my guy's on the team, man. I was the guy, Rondo always wanted him to be a Laker, man. So that's just good to see. So, whether he's starting or, he's backing up next to him, I really think he's going to be a huge help to this team, to help these Lakers, make it to the playoffs and whatnot. So it's good to see my guy on the roster. Up next, we have DeMarcus Cousins, a.k.a. Boogie, with him making a move to go to Golden State for about $5 million a year, a little over $5 million a year. What was your thoughts on that when that first went down, man?
Yeah, a little surprising. I always felt like DeMarcus Cousins was going to chase the dollar.
Yeah.
But, I think we've put so much premium on winning a championship that players are willing to, take pay cuts, to take role cuts on a team even.
Yeah.
I think it's just the idea that, we talk, if you want to be great, you have to win a championship. And I think that's such a false notion that you have to win a championship. I mean, how many good players haven't won a championship in any sport?
Yeah.
I think, being from the Detroit area, we could talk about Barry Sanders. I don't think anybody's sitting around saying, he wasn't great, he never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Boogie Cousins is a really good player. Is he a Hall of Fame player? Probably not. Not without a ring, at least.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why we can't allow players to be really good without a ring.
That's one thing, that kind of pisses me off, man. It's kind of been peeving me for a couple years now, man. Especially a guy like me. I'm a guy that loves, boxing and MMA. Mm-hmm. So when you have, I'll just mention some of the all-time greats like the Roy Jones, the Mayweathers, the Alis, the Mike Tysons in the world. When those guys talk about championships, at the end of the day, they were the ones that was in the ring by themselves and got those championships. That was an individual accomplishment. Now, don't get me wrong; they had their cut men, they had the trainers to help back them up and prepare them for the fights. But at the end of the day, they were in the ring by themselves, going out there, going at it to accomplish that. From, kids and growing up, when we talk about, basketball or football, we always talk about, this is a team sport. This is an accomplishment. So when you sit up here and, you talk about a player, he has a ring. Okay, that's nice and all, but guess what? He didn't accomplish that ring all by himself. I don't care, how good LeBron was or, Jordan was or whatever. It wasn't, the Supersonics against Michael Jordan, Supersonics against the Bulls, or whatever. This was a team accomplishment. So, I get it. It's always good to have those accolades, but, especially coming from a team sport, that is just something that kind of always, kind of pisses me off a little bit when you just hear guys, bragging about, he has this many rings. He doesn't have that ring. It's like, that's cool. He does have that many rings, but he also had players around him that was help backing him up on the court, on the field or whatever. So that's just something that kind of bothers me just with the whole ring talk, as it is, especially just with us growing up around sports. We always talk about team. And then, you're bringing up the individual talking about a ring as if they won it by themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, when we always talk about, Kobe winning those early rings, it's always, Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
But it's like, but then when we talk about just overall rings, people go, but Kobe is 6.
Yeah.
Or 5.
Yeah,
He's
5.
Kobe is 5. It's like, does it matter that he won them with Shaq or doesn't it?
Yeah.
And like everybody says, Jordan needed Pippen to come along, and Steph Curry wasn't winning them before some other guys came along, and LeBron didn't win them until he had to get help. I don't understand why we feel like you have to do it all by yourself. And like it's the whole thing. You have to do it by yourself. It has to be your own individual accomplishment, or else you're criticized. It's like that. It's terrible, and that's the one reason I am not a big fan of the NBA right now, because we put so much pressure on the championship. We put so much pressure on these the label of being great to the ring, and it forces players to do stuff like this. It forces Kevin Durant to go to Golden State. It forces Boogie Cousins to go, to Golden State. It's, looking like it's going to be forcing Carmelo to go to Houston. Like, in reality, the NBA should be an 8-team league.
Pretty much,
And all the players should just go to those 8 teams, and then every other franchise should just fold.
Yeah. Because, it's just a shame, like I said this before with you. With the MLB, NFL, NHL, and so forth, you're going to have your favorites. You're going to have your teams out there that people are, going to have a strong, pick to win a championship. But just because, they have their favorites, those favorites aren't going to win it every single year. We have situations like this, with guys, already going to championship teams. All-stars already going to championship teams. Like, why even watch now? That's kind of just like killing the suspense of even getting excited for the season. So that's just, that's really starting to piss me off, with the NBA, just how the DeRozan is going down. With that, just guys already just packing up, going to already just championship teams. It's like, just why even bother watching this stuff? So it's ridiculous. Now, do you think with that Cousins move to Golden State, do you think like Adam Silver or the guys should like get together and like try to come up with some rules or anything to try to like balance this out or something like that?
I mean, the only reason I say you can is because if it's free agency, you can't really tell a player like, hey, you can't go there for the amount of money that you're willing to take to be there.
Yeah.
That's not really the player's fault.
Yeah.
But, I do... It almost leaves me speechless just because, the whole situation can lead to literally only the NBA having like 16, 18.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as of right now, legitimately probably only 4 teams in the NBA can win the championship. And everybody knows it, and I think it makes the NBA very undesirable.
Yeah.
I think this year we're going to see the NFL of way higher numbers than the NBA in terms of big games, big events, total viewership, and it's sad for the NBA in one hand, but the NBA is still going to be the NBA, and it's still going to have so it'll be what it is. The NBA is still going to be around.
Yeah, sure. All right. Anything else to add for that? Or?
No.
Okay. Also, man, we got to talk about Paul George deciding to stay with OKC. It's pretty surprised with this one, man. Especially there was all this news going out with him year prior, talking about how bad he wanted to go to LA and whatnot. I really thought he was going to be the guy that was going to end up landing there, but as I say, man, money talks. He got a nice little big offer and decided to stay with OKC, man. Were you shocked at all by that, or?
Yeah, I was. I thought, they may, or he may try to, join LeBron in LA or join somebody somewhere. But it looks like, and I'm sure he knew that Carmelo was going to take an exit, which would just mean a bigger role for him. I don't blame him. I still think Oklahoma City can kind of float in that, spot in the West.
Yeah. Do you think Melo was kind of holding kind of Paul George and Westbrook back in a way?
Yeah, if any of those three were holding them back, it would have been Carmelo.
Okay.
I just feel like he's the one who wants the most for the least. Okay. He wants to take a lot of shots, but doesn't really play defense. Paul George will play defense, but wants the shots too. And then, Westbrook's just doing it all. So, I think Carmelo would have slowed that team down a little bit if I had to pick one of those three. So I think with him leaving, Paul George staying actually makes sense, even though it is a little surprising.
Yeah. All right. Up next we have Brook Lopez to the Bucks. Just how do you feel about that one, man?
Yeah, it's kind of a low-key signing that could actually be a pretty good one. The Bucks haven't had, a good big man in a long time. I mean, Andrew Bogut wasn't even really that great with them. So I feel like he can find a pretty good role here, be a big man, average, 14 points, hopefully grab about 8-9 rebounds. He'll be a solid player. He's a solid NBA player. I think he's undervalued a little bit. I think he can really provide a lot to a team. But with the Bucks being so young, I feel like he could provide a really good, better presence.
Yeah. Me, overall, man, I think they're going to be adding a good, they're going to be upgrading their center position by adding Brook Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the biggest Brook Lopez fan in the world. That's just me, but I really think this could be a good place for him to shine. But just overall, man, I'm just disappointed in this whole Bucks team, man. With the talent that they had, we're going to get to Jabari in a little bit, but with the guys that they had on that roster, man, that team should have been raising hell last year with the guys that they had. Now they're starting to break up the team a little bit, but it's going to be interesting to see how they'll incorporate Brook Lopez in there. But this team should have been a lot better in previous years than what was going on.
I agree.
Okay, now we have DeAndre Jordan to the Mavericks. This was supposedly rumors was going on, years ago that was where he wanted to go. I think he had the opportunity to go to Dallas a couple years back, but he ended up switching on him. But now he's there, man. He's going to be playing next to Dirk, and I got Luka Doncic down there too. So how do you think DeAndre Jordan will be able to help out this Mavericks team, and think that's a good fit for him?
Yeah, I think it's a good fit for him. He'll get some good young guard play there. So hopefully some guys that could throw the lobs to him. He's not going to help a team at the free throw line. Anybody knows that. Yeah. He's still very solid offensively, really good defensively. He's really an all-around player. I also think he's another one of those players that's undervalued by the fans. He big part of that Lob City team.
Yep.
And it was fun to watch, but I think people kind of saw him, all he can really do is dunk the ball. Well, no, the guy plays really good defense.
Yeah.
And, I think he's going to toughen them up a little bit on the inside. They tried the Nerlens Noel experiment. That just didn't happen. Yeah, that just hasn't panned out for any team that's tried it. But, I think he's going to be a really good addition for that team, playing alongside Dirk. I think he'll up his shooting a little bit, possibly from the free throw line. But just solid addition here, I think.
Yeah. Since we're talking about the Mavericks too, man, just how long do you think, man, Dirk has left? Man, you think another year, 2 years, or what?
Yeah, he keeps signing these 1-year deals. Wouldn't be shocked if this is kind of it. Yeah. But I think I've said it before. He's not going to be the guy to say this is it and use it as a parade for himself. I don't think that's Dirk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if this is it. If he stays really healthy, I'd give it one more, but I would imagine this is probably it.
Yeah. It's interesting, man, because I think Dirk is probably my favorite power forward of all time, man. Just how he revolutionized the game with his style of play. Introducing the NBA to that Euro style of basketball. Just phenomenal. So, just going to be keeping track of him, man. Just seeing how long he's going to continue to give it. We all know he's definitely getting ready to close the door on him. So just, see how long he's got. Mm-hmm. Now, another one, this is a guy that I'm really going to be, just excited to watch and going to be rooting for this year, and that's Isaiah Thomas, man. Took a huge fall from grace. I said it plenty of times, man, from being in the MVP discussion to just, barely making it to teams, man, with him now. So it's been a crazy ride, but he signed with the Denver Nuggets. Just thoughts on him, man, what he could do for this team, just expectations for him coming into the season.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Thomas will up any team from an offensive standpoint. He's a score-first point guard. Where I think he was an interesting pickup with the Nuggets is they've struggled with point guards as of late.
Yes.
I think he could be a good fit there. Wouldn't be shocked if this season goes well for him if he decides to hang around.
Yeah.
He signed I believe he signed a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I believe so.
Some like six or $8 million or something. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it could be a good fit for him. The Nuggets actually have some things going for them.
Yeah.
They got some nice pieces out there. I just wonder. I think everybody kind of thought Boston was going to be his place, and that was going to be his town and his city, but
exactly, yeah.
it just didn't work out. And I think everybody knew when he went
1 year, $2 million deal.
Okay, 1 year, $2 million, yeah. But I think we all knew when he was in LA that just wasn't his fit. I mean, I think we all kind of saw that.
Yeah.
But I think he can actually do fairly well in a smaller market NBA team.
Yeah.
Especially a team that's going to give him, a lot of that freedom offensively.
Yeah, I'm about to say, man, of all the teams that he's played with since leaving Boston, I think this would be the best fit for him because this would be the opportunity for him to just run wild and just do his thing and hopefully remind people who he once was. So, just have to see. All right. Anything else to add to him, Ty?
No, just for, IT and the story that we've kind of seen develop with him, I hope this is a good landing spot for him. I really do. Last pick in the draft, and he had that whole story of, his sister dying?
Yeah.
I just hope things work out for him, just great story. But would love to see him actually land in a spot that, will actually give him a solid career.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we mentioned his name a little bit earlier, but Jabari Parker decided to go to his hometown of Chicago to play for the Bulls. Going to be excited to watch him and Lauri Markkanen play next to each other, man. I'm a huge fan of Markkanen.
Yeah.
I like that guy, man. But he's going to be heading to the Bulls. His thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting now that I'm living in the Chicago area, hearing the Chicago sports stations talk about him.
Yeah.
And nobody understands the signing other than the fact that this is where he's from. They're looking at it saying that, they locked up Levine, which was the big signing for the Bulls.
Yeah.
So you got, Levine and Markkanen as kind of the headliners. They're actually having a lot of hope in there's Justin Holiday.
Okay.
They're talking him up big time. And they look at Jabari Parker and say, okay, they're bringing in a guy who has offensive, capabilities, but is a big liability on the defensive end of the floor, as is Levine. So they're just wondering, why are you going to bring a guy to create an even bigger hole on the defensive side of the floor, especially when you have a coach who's supposed to be this offensive mastermind and needs all the help he can get defensively. the talk here is, the Bulls are going to see a lot of games where, the score's 120-something to 110-something.
Yeah.
There's just not going to be a lot of defense being played in Chicago this year.
Yeah, Jabari, I guess he told a reporter that they don't pay players to play defense. So, which is, I kind of agree with that kind of statement a little bit. We get so fascinated with guys just shooting points, just who's out there just scoring and shooting the ball and everything, man. But you got to play defense too. That's one of the reasons why I like my man Kawhi so much, man, is that, he'll score on you too, but when he's on defense, he'll lock you down. I'm going to talk about him in a little bit, but, definitely defense is definitely underappreciated, especially in this day of game, man, where you just excited to see people just jack up shots from half court and whatnot now. So definitely undervalued in today's game.
Yeah.
All right, anything to, since you're from the Chicago area, what has the reception as a lot of people, do they want him in Chicago? Or are they kind of disappointed by it? Are they cool with it?
Overall, I think it's a happy signing. A lot of people, we watched him win, state championships in high school. We saw him at Duke. We know what kind of a player he could be. It's just, is he going to develop into at least, an okay defender to where when you throw him on the floor, he's just not getting burned every time.
Yeah.
But, one of the big questions is he still recovering from the ACL injury?
Yeah.
It's like, is he still actually recovering from that? Because it's not like he played a lot last year.
Exactly.
But they're saying the offense is there, and it's great that they're getting another weapon on offense. Just the defense is what's scaring everybody.
Yeah. I like the guy. I think Jabari can play, man. I just hope that, not that he was on D Rose's level, when D Rose was at his peak, but I just hope he doesn't, just crash like D Rose did. He was playing for spectacular prior to the injuries and stuff. Just hopefully, he can still move pretty good and be explosive like he once was, because those ACL injuries, man, they will tear you down. So, all right. Up next, we're going to talk about a guy that once played for the Chi, Jimmy Butler. He recently turned down an extension for a lot of money for the Timberwolves. I was kind of shocked by that. But is there, what do you think is behind this? You think he's kind of just playing hardball right now, or you think there's a destination in mind where he wants to play, or, just what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a little bit of hardball. I've never really gotten the vibe from Jimmy Butler that he's really a team guy. I've also never really gotten the vibe from him that, he's willing to sacrifice. And I guess that comes back to the team guy thing.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like he's really hard to read. Very, very good basketball player. But I just kind of wonder, is he just trying to hold out for the best possible situation? Does he actually want a lot of money? I'm not even really sure what he wants.
Yeah.
Because, he doesn't really... he doesn't... When he talks, at least I don't hear it. It doesn't sound like he's, talking against those super teams. So I wonder, is he waiting for his opportunity to join one? Or is he just trying to make as much money as he can and play basketball along the way?
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, to me, he's kind of a hard player to read, man.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly find out exactly what he wants. It's kind of like an unpredictable personality, but I like him. He's a great, phenomenal basketball player. With that situation with the Timberwolves, I think that's another team that I was disappointed in last year. I think they could have done a little bit more concerning with the pieces that they've had on that team. So just have to see, Timberwolves, I'm pretty sure they would love to keep a guy like Jimmy Butler, but just going to have to see if that's the place for him, if he's, the city just making him happy. So just have to see what's going to happen with him down the road, man. Now we're going to talk about news today. Seems as if Carmelo's on his way out. He's going to be heading to Atlanta in a 3-team trade. Got to look at the exact details here.
Yeah, I know Dennis Schroeder and Mike Muscala were involved at least.
Oh, wow. Schroeder. Okay.
Well, and it's funny because Schroeder just got signed to a big deal.
Yeah.
And I find it really weird that Atlanta's willing to send those pieces out to waive Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that team's going to be...
But I also think they're hoping Trae Young's everything and more.
Yeah. That's right. They do got Trae. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, but I still find it interesting because now are you going to move Schroeder or Westbrook to the 2? I mean, Schroeder's a proven NBA guy, or
he was.
Or does Oklahoma City now trade Schroeder or Schrader? I think Schrader.
I think it's Schroeder.
Then Schroeder.
Yeah.
Anyway, now do they look to trade him?
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
Because it just doesn't make sense that Oklahoma City would say we want him.
Yeah.
But then again, we're not GMs, so what do we know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, everybody knows, Carmelo's getting waived. That's not a secret. That was never a secret in the deal.
Yeah.
That was public from the start. It sounds like Houston's going to be the front runner, so look out.
With this, safe to say, Golden State's the favorite, to win it this year. But how much closer, if Houston is a team to land Carmelo Anthony, how much closer have they become to possibly overthrowing this Golden State team? Because I still think they need to work with Capella's money to pay him. So they would still have him. I think they got rid of, what's his name? Trevor Ariza. Yeah. But they still have, Chris Paul and, oh my goodness, how can the beard, James Harden. So with them adding Carmelo to addition to the team, man, just how do you think he will help this team and possibly overthrowing the Golden State Warriors? Think they'll be right there at them? You still think they'll need another piece, or like what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he helps. I don't think Carmelo hurts them. They're already a team that loves to shoot the ball, so he'll fit right in with that. That's perfect for him, man. He likes to shoot. So. Yeah, he does. But, they need to lock down Capella. I still think they need one more bench piece, at least, to join Gordon. But does it get them closer? Yeah, absolutely it does. Do I think it's tough to gauge how close they actually are. I don't want to say the 7-game series was, a fluke or anything like that, but I still think Golden State's that good. I wonder, what is, Golden State going to look like with Boogie Cousins? Because and unfortunately, we won't know that for a little while into the season. But until we know that, it's going to be tough to say how close Houston actually is. I mean, think about it. They were better for 82 games last year.
Yep.
And still couldn't beat them when it counted.
Yeah. So, very true, man. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about Boogie. We were talking about the whole rings and everything, but part of me is still wondering, man, with him taking that huge of a pay cut and that injury, just how many teams, were just reluctant to sign him, and just how serious of an injury that was with that, man. Because for a guy as talented as him to take that huge of a pay cut, man, it still kind of makes me wonder with that. So, I don't know. Is this going to be, pretty much a career-ending injury for him, or is he still going to be able to play top-notch basketball like he was before?
Yeah, I think he'll still be able to play really good basketball.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one thing, for a shooting guard or point guard to get it, but DeMarcus Cousins is a big boy, man. With an injury like that, man, and you're his size, that can really mess you up for you to be a big and suffer from that injury. So just something that came across my mind. He's very young. He's still a young guy, so he can go out there, heal, and with him taking the right medicine and everything else today, I could definitely see him back on there. But that was just something that crossed my mind with him. But Ty, did you have anything else to add to the Carmelo Anthony situation?
I would love to see it just so we could see how big of a logjam the West could become. It would be it'd be really fun to see. It really would. Plus, I would like to see how such an offensive-minded team can I guess I need to rephrase it. How Carmelo Anthony will fit in such an offensive-minded team. Because I don't think we've seen him in a team that would have that kind of firepower offensively and wants to play that kind of offensive basketball.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be really interesting to see him in that kind of team environment.
Yeah. One thing I will say, too, we talking about we talk about the West with, like, Golden State and everything, man. But I'm still very interested in how this Boston Celtics team is going to pan out this year with, Kyrie. He was injured during the playoffs. But, have him, Gordon, Tatum's going to be getting better, improving this year. Rozier, and those guys. So I'm just really excited to see with that Boston Celtics team, even though they're my squad's rivals, but they're going to be raising some hell, next year for sure. I definitely think the East is theirs to win it. So I think it's going to be theirs. But we're talking about the West, but that's the team's going to give a lot of people some trouble next year, I believe, if everybody could get the chemistry right and everything. So we're just going to have to see with them. But up next, we got to talk about my boy, the silent assassin, Kawhi Leonard. With this trade for him, he's going to be going to Toronto for DeMar Derozan. And what was the guy's last name? Let me see. Was it, I'm probably messed his name up. Was it Podol, or how do you say it? You know what I'm talking?
Yeah, it's Pedal.
Pedal? Okay.
Yeah,
so for Pedal. To me, I think the Spurs clearly won this trade. If it was me, if I was in the Toronto Raptors office, I wouldn't have even done this trade. I just really don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to be a guy that wants to play there long term. Kind of iffy about him possibly sitting out some, still using that quad excuse to this season with that whole situation that he's had. So I just don't see him fitting in with this Toronto Raptors team. I was confident, like I told you before, Ty, I was confident in Paul George, going to LA. So hopefully with him, he doesn't get changed his mind too. But, Paul George was a guy that was out there, letting it be known that he wanted to play for LA. A year later, he decided to stick with the team. So that's a possibility. But, man, I'm not really feeling this Kawhi Leonard trade for the Toronto Raptors. I think they should have stuck with DeRozan, if anything. But just thoughts on this trade and just the whole situation now.
Yeah, I find it odd you'd trade for a guy who straight up said, I don't want to play there.
Yeah.
Just, man, and I think you raised a great question. If Kawhi Leonard gets hurt a little bit, does he use it as an excuse to sit out some more?
Yeah.
I think that's a very great point. I also wonder, you were the number one team in the Eastern Conference, and you're just going to break it up.
Yeah.
Granted, you fired your head coach already, so why not get rid of your all-time leading scorer?
And two, the guy that was giving you all that hell in your conference, LeBron James, he's out of there. you wouldn't have to worry about him until possibly the NBA Finals, which, the Lakers, I love them, but it doesn't seem like it's not going to be their year. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah.
The guy that was giving you all that hell is gone, and you just broke the team up. But go ahead, Ty.
And I also kind of ask myself, too, like, why are you trading for a guy you know is a huge price tag?
Yeah.
It's not that, like, I don't think Kawhi Leonard makes them a vastly superior team to what they were last year. I just don't. I mean, are they still probably going to be one of the top 2 teams in the East? Yeah, most likely. But with how we're seeing all these other teams work deals and things like that, you're telling me they couldn't find a way to keep DeMar DeRozan?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. The Spurs did not really want to let go of Kawhi, but they showed they were able to.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised that Toronto was willing to deal DeRozan for it.
Yeah. Like, that was completely shocked by that, man. Just with how, he's been playing for that team. And, just with the uncertainty with Kawhi, I just don't understand why they would pull the plug on that. But, Kawhi, in my opinion, he's a better player than DeRozan. But I just with that uncertainty alone, man, I would have kept DeRozan.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's crazy, man. I'm just going to have to see how that goes. With that, with Kawhi Leonard, when this whole trade went down, there was a lot of people talking about loyalty and whatnot. You had Isaiah Thomas tweet about loyalty with how, Boston treated him. And we see how Toronto treated DeRozan. And Kawhi Leonard, he's a guy, he's willing to sit out, voice what team he wants to play for. He's going to let teams know that, hey, I do not want to play with you guys. This is how the NBA, this with him, do you think more NBA players could end up, pulling a Kawhi Leonard, like just letting people know, hey, I don't want to play with you guys, I'm injured, I can't play tonight or whatever. Could you see more people doing that, stepping up and voicing their concern like Kawhi Leonard, or do you think he's just going to be one guy out of the bunch that's just doing that?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a common thing.
Okay.
I still think there's a lot of that story that we don't know and probably will never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that's going to be something we see become a pattern.
Okay. All right, Ty. Just looking at these moves, man. Do you have like a favorite NBA move that's happened so far into the season, or?
I don't want to say I have a favorite. I think a lot of them are good. I think anytime you can add a Boogie Cousins or a LeBron James to your team, you're doing very well for yourself. But I don't necessarily want to say, one was my favorite because I don't really know how they're playing out yet.
Yeah.
and I know that kind of seems very kind of backwards thinking, like, oh, then you're just going to pick the best one as your favorite. Well, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to like, LeBron James if he goes to LA and averages 4 points a game.
Yeah.
But to me, it's the fact that the NBA is just shifting big time, and we're seeing people chase rings, and for me, it makes it tough to like any of the moves, because I know why a lot of these players are shifting teams.
Yeah.
And, I've said it multiple times, and, it's just the NBA is going to be an 8-team league before we know it. There's already only 4-ish teams that can even win the championship. So it's almost, just get us through the 82-game season, and then, we can actually get to what matters.
Yeah. I will say this, man. This is how this whole offseason has been going down for the NBA. really gotten a lot more excited for college basketball. I was already getting into it because of you guys now, but right now, how it is, if there's a good college basketball game on and there's a pretty decent NBA game on, I can tell you right now I'm going to be watching the college basketball game now because it's just kind of getting a little bit too ridiculous, man. I just miss the overall competitiveness of the game. When the guys say, Durant say, hey man, I want to beat the Steph Currys and those guys. I don't want to join them, and so forth like that. Now you just got rivals kind of teaming up with each other and stuff like that now. So it's just the overall competitiveness of the game is just really getting watered down, man. So I'm letting you know right now, like college basketball, that's what I'm going to be really watching that a lot coming up this year. So
yeah, and college basketball is going to be really good. We got some really good names that came into it this year. So there's going to be some really good college basketball.
I'm excited for that Zion Williamson guy.
Oh,
man. That guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
That guy's a freak.
Yeah, I hope it's not just one of those. He gets to college and then, everybody's, now better than him. It was just, he played at some high school and just wrecked those kids. But yeah, I hope that's not the case. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a really good college basketball season.
Yep. So, and I think Shaq's son, he's gonna be. Yep. So. Got some names out there, man. I'm going to be excited to look out for and watch. So that's
definitely.
That's certainly, man. I'm definitely going to be excited to check them out this year. Just another thing, man, that with the Lakers, I kind of want them to give this guy a shot. He's a name not circling around that much, but he had a spectacular rookie year, and that was Jahlil Okafor. When he was his rookie year, man, he was up there getting mentioned, with the Porzingis and stuff like that. And then just with the whole situation with the 76ers, with how many bigs they had or whatever, he kind of got overshadowed. Then they got rid of him, traded him to the Nets. That was just an absolute dumpster fire. So I wonder if he still has some game in him. So part of me wants to see the Lakers kind of give him a shot, man, to see if he can still play. But Jahlil Okafor, that was a guy, man. His rookie year, he was making some splashes out there, but this was the whole situation in Philly and Brooklyn kind of messed him up. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Another thing too, man, there was rumors going around that the Lakers were going to try out Chris Bosh. You think he's done, man, or you think there's any chance he'll be back in the NBA? Or
I don't know that teams are willing to take the chance. I'd love for there to still be a chance for him.
Yeah.
But I just think teams see just a really big health risk, and I don't know that anybody wants to be responsible.
Yeah.
Can't say I blame them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. Those blood clots are definitely no joke to play with, man. Those will mess you up, could kill you. So, he's a guy out there, he's playing spectacular. Definitely miss, watching him play out on the court. He's a great basketball player, but yeah, is he even, really worth the risk for any team right now? That's, huge to say. So. But to close this out, man, just have you been watching the Summer League basketball for the NBA?
Yeah, I've caught a lot of highlights at least.
Okay.
So, I a lot of game highlights and things like that. I've definitely been keeping my eye on it.
Yeah, I've been looking at some, are there any names out there that kind of stuck with you that you've been watching play? That you told me about Mo, man. I've been liking his highlights for the Lakers, man. He's been making some nice shots.
Yeah, he'll be a fun player, especially if given a chance. He just plays a lot of passion, and all that. So, I think one player that kind of has to stand out to everybody would be, I think, not really a rookie, but Josh Hart.
Yeah.
He won Summer League MVP.
And he had some splashes last year with the Lakers where he was playing phenomenal basketball.
Yeah.
I think with the Lonzo Ball injuries that he had a chance to go out there and shine and play for him. So he He was balling last year too, man. Just think summer league was just a place for him to show again that he could play. But yeah, he had some flashes last year too.
Yeah. I think Kevin Knox is turning some heads.
Yeah.
I think he had a very impressive summer league. I think he averaged close to 20 points.
Okay.
So yeah, he did. I think he could find a spot in New York, playing really well there. Another player that had a really good summer was Wendell Carter Jr. for the Bulls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just consistent both ends of the floor. Another Duke product, so I just think that granted you're playing against a lot of young and inexperienced type players in the summer league, but you still got to be good to show out there. There were quite a few players that did. The ones, like I said, that just caught me. It's just some of the headliners. Wendell Carter Jr. and Ayton, and all those.
I gotta say, my man Sexton too, man. I've been liking him too. He's been balling. He's a rookie. I'm going to be really excited to watch too. See what he'll be able to break for the Cavs. But been liking his play in the summer league as well, man. That guy can put some points on the board. So just going to see what he can do. This is a point guard driven league and stuff, man. So just going to see what he'll be able to do. Against the top notch professionals in the NBA. So.
Yeah.
All right, Ty, anything else to add?
No. Basketball's quickly approaching.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for checking us out for the show. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Feel free to check us out on Twitter at DKM_cast. Also, feel free to check out our podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes. Just hit up Don't Kill the Messengers podcast in the search engine, and we should pop up. Other than that, we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.